Okay, y'all, this is a quickie, impromptu, as you can tell, right? I recently got home from yoga. I've been working on some things, and I also know that I have not done a video in quite some time. So this is gonna be a short, but it was just on my spirit. So I'm trying to be obedient. So here I am. All right, as I'm preparing to go under the water and come back up washed, aka baptized, June 29th, we've been having a series all year that's been surrounded around growth. And it's just ironic that that was like our keyword for this year, because that's kind of my keyword for myself, just evolving, right? Anywho, so the pastor preached the weekend before last. And it was so profound when he said that when we talk about I'm no longer being a part or being involved with things that don't serve me. And he was like, that's the stupidest thing he's ever heard. And at first I was like, ooh, 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 because we know that is our saying lately, right? Like, if it don't serve me, I'm not serving it, and I'm not going to be in spaces that no longer serve me, etc. And basically what he broke that down to us was that is so selfish. And that's really not the walk that we should be on. We really should be in spaces in which we are serving, which we are giving, which we are offering up our gifts, right? And it's not about how are we being served. We are put on this earth to serve in some way or another. That is what I consider to be purpose. Purpose is not what you do, but how what you do impacts others, right? So I just, wanted to get on and just say to you all, like, what is your purpose? Like, what do you do that really lifts someone else up, that really inspires someone, that really gives back to someone? How are you a blessing to others? And another thing, just coming out of that selfishness and thought process, and realigning my thoughts, with the word. I too have felt like, oh my God, I have been used, I have been abused, I have been mistreated, I have been talked about, lied about, etc. From people that I felt like that, I did help, or I did give a lot of myself to. And unfortunately, fortunately, whatever, that is sometimes what your calling is. That's sometimes what your purpose is. It is for God to use you. You know what I mean? It's not about, feeling like, someone used you, and maybe they did, but it's about, did you fulfill what God asked you to do in that situation with that person? And feelings are temporary, you know what I mean? And it's not to say that you won't get hurt during the process. It's not to say that you won't get disappointed by man. We all know that we're going to be disappointed by man, right? That is the point of Jesus, and that is when God says, but come to me, I will never disappoint you. I will never forsake you. And I just continue to find comfort in that. And again, I'm human, right? So sometimes I still be like, like, that person wronged me, that person did this, that person did that. But I give grace and I give space for forgiveness, because there are some things that I have done that I am not proud of, some things that I have participated in that is not right, some actions that, I've had to evolve from. And change is not easy. And I am imperfect person, never striving for perfection, but always striving for better. You know what I mean? And always trying to figure out, like, what was I to learn from that? How can I help someone else that may not have to learn the hard way, or they still may learn the hard way, but just need someone to, relate to, right? And I have a lot of things to relate to, and just be there, be a servant, So I'm just excited about, a lot of things to come in my life, in a lot of ways in which when I wake up in the morning, I ask God to use me now. I ask him to let me be a blessing to someone. I ask him, how do I serve you today, Lord? How do I serve today? And that is the life worth living. I have been blessed to really, to be honest, not want for anything. You know what I mean? And I also cannot wait to share with you all about me thinking I was just doing a closet cleanse, and how that just really was an overall cleanse, and what that really ends up meaning is just a step that I took earlier this month. So as we're halfway through, I am not going through the year with things that I have already served, that's already served its purpose in my world, that I just I no longer feel like I'm serving, and whether that's serving the looks or whatever, but it ended up being an emotional cleanse for me. It ended up being a mental cleanse for me, and this is just decluttering and getting rid of stuff, getting rid of material things. So I can't wait to share more about that with my dear friend, Shay. I slayed with Shay, but it also was it was truly cleansing from mind, heart, soul, all the things. But anywho, the whole point of getting on here today is just saying, who are you serving? Who are you blessing? And what is your purpose? Talk to me, people. All right. Bye.